right, Thomas Harding, go ahead and start us off.
Daniel, first of all, good afternoon. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right. Secondly, how do you feel you've done? The last four games. I know there've been some hits, but you've been in the strike zone. Where are you now with the stuff, with how you're feeling on the mound?
Well, I feel about the same as I felt all year. I felt really good. I think the luck's starting to turn my way a little bit. Maybe a little better game planning on our part as far as where we're putting pitches, but as far as how I've thrown and executed pitches, I feel like I've pretty much been the same every time out. I know there've been some walks here and there, but it's a lot of times it's been situational or pitching to the lineup a little bit. So I feel good.
And I remember, I think the last time we had you on here, you were feeling very good, and the results weren't going your way. Is that difficult, or do you feel like, hey, if I just stick with what I'm doing, I'm going to be okay?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we got to. I mean, I made a couple little tweaks in how we're attacking guys. But as far as like the actual pitches I was throwing, I didn't feel like there was a whole lot I could change or improve. When you're missing a spot by 3 or 4 inches, there's not a whole lot you can do to like make that pitch go exactly where you want it to. And sometimes I wasn't even missing. So no, I mean, I think we talked about it. We got all the pitching guys together. We got some of the hitting guys to look at things to see if there were maybe some trends or some patterns I was getting into, and put everything together. And we've made a few tweaks, but as far as how I'm throwing the ball, I don't feel like much has changed.
Kind of getting away from the individual part of it. The bullpen kind of took on some water. It was just a bizarre series against the Reds and the homestand. How do you get back on track as a group?
Yeah, we had a couple tough games. I think we threw the ball well in several games in that homestand. We had the bullpen game that Chacin started that, I thought a lot of guys had a really solid outings that day and made big pitches in big spots to keep us in that ball game and, give us a chance to win it. And then you hate to see the last game of that series, how it just kind of got away at the end there. And, we got a lot of guys who are young and they're learning how to pitch at this level, kind of getting thrown in the fire. The nice thing is the stuff is there. A lot of elite fastballs in this bullpen, a lot of elite stuff. And I think it's just, learning how good these big league hitters are and how to attack them and how to use that good stuff. So, we're working together. We're the nice thing is I don't see fear in any of those guys. Like they take the ball in those spots. They don't look, overly nervous or anything like that. Like they want to be in those spots. And I think that, especially pitching in Coors, to have guys with good stuff who want the ball in hard situations is, that's all you can ask for. And we'll try to get the results down the road.
All right, thank you. I'm going to step out. I guess some other people are coming in. So thank you very much, Daniel.
Yeah.
Thanks, Thomas. We'll go to Danielle, and then Nick Groh can finish up with Tracy. Danielle, go ahead.
Hey, Daniel. I kind of wanted to follow up on the young, inexperienced bullpen and how they've been handling things. What have you seen from them after an inning doesn't go well for them, maybe the next day or later that night? How have they been handling that?
It's like anybody else that has done this a while. You take it hard because we all have high expectations for ourselves, and you want to go out and dominate, for yourself and also for the team and keeping us in the ball game. So they take it hard, I think, those first hour after it happens. And then, for the most part, the next day we show up and it's like, I don't want to say nothing ever happened, but, it's like, hey, give me the ball back. I want to get back out there. I want to redeem myself. And that's how I felt this year too. When I've had a couple rough ones, it's just, you kind of take your punches and then you learn from it and then you get better from it and then you move on and you go get them the next day.
Has there been anything maybe like the group as a whole has noticed about what hasn't been going their way that you guys have been working to change?
I wouldn't say one thing in particular. Everybody's got their different things they're working on. I think getting strike one, being in the strike zone early in the inning, staying away from those leadoff walks and 2-strike walks. There's going to be like some situational walks when you have a base open and a really good hitter up. That stuff's going to happen, but kind of the free passes when you're not pitching around a guy, I think we're working to eliminate that. And I think that just comes with trusting our stuff in the zone, which can be a thing you got to learn to do, especially when you're pitching at home. So we've had some good conversations though. I think everybody's on the same page. And like I said, I think we got a lot of guys with really good stuff that want to pitch, and that's a good problem to have.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Nick Groke. Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Daniel, I'm hearing you talk about this, but just to follow up, when there is a long homestand and then there's like some extra inning games and a bullpen game and and stuff sort of starts to compound on each other as far as how much the bullpen is being asked to do. Do you guys talk about this? Or is it just sort of an unspoken thing that you all know that you kind of have to double down and just sort of get out of it eventually? Is that sort of how it is, or do you talk about it?
Yeah, I mean, the workload as a bullpen is it's gonna roller coaster all year. You're gonna have times when the starters are going 7-8 innings several days in a row and nobody's pitching, and that's a good problem to have, but everyone wants to pitch. And then you're gonna have kind of how the last series or so has gone, where we're getting worked pretty hard and having to eat up a lot of innings just because of whether it's injuries or rainouts and double headers and all that stuff that happens during the season. So, we were taxed pretty good for a few days there. And, we like it. Everybody wants to pitch, like I said, in that bullpen. So that's not the problem, but it's a long season and you gotta, manage workloads and things like that. So it was huge by Gilly and Santos stepping up yesterday and eating up the last 3 innings of that game. So gave everybody an extra day off. And so, yeah, sometimes you need guys to step in and eat those innings.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, we'll go to Tracy and then back to Thomas for follow-up. Tracy, go ahead.
Daniel, I guess this is more of a big picture question, and I was gone for a couple minutes with the electric company, so I hope you didn't get asked it. But do you ever look back and think of what's happened for you for the last 2 years? I mean, I know you've accomplished a lot, but do you ever go home at night thinking this is pretty nice?
It's a good reminder every once in a while to, because you get kind of caught up in the stresses of a new season and wanting to win games and wanting to be a part of something special here. And I still want that every day. And, but when things maybe aren't going as perfectly as we want as a team, there are times where I'm just like, tell myself not to get frustrated, not to get too stressed about it, because, hey, I'm putting on a big league uniform every day. And like, that's something I never expected again. It's something I try to enjoy, regardless of personal results, team results. Like, it's still a pretty cool opportunity. So I do remind myself of that as often as I can.
Thank you, sir.
All right, we'll go back to Thomas to finish it up. Thomas, go ahead.
Yes, wanted to ask you about the young guys in the pen. Obviously, they're looking to you, guys like Givens, the guys that have been around. But is it difficult sometimes to kind of step up and be a leader for them when maybe you're working through something or you've had a couple of outings that have not gone your way? And how are you able to compartmentalize that and say, hey, it's not just me, but it's, I'm also helping out the other guy?
Yeah, that hasn't been a problem for me. I mean, I'm still, regardless of some of the results this year for me personally, I'm still very confident every time I take the mound, very confident in my stuff. Got a little frustrated at times with what was happening, but like never questioned what I was doing. So I think the fact that has stayed the same helps me. I try to be the same guy every day when I show up, whether I struck out the side the day before or, gave up 3 runs. Like, I try to be the same guy, whether that's mentally, physically, you know, my preparation. And I hope that that is kind of an example for the guys around me. Because that's the best thing that I've found in this game that carries you through a long season and through a career is regardless of what happened yesterday, good or bad, you show up the next day, you're the same guy. And that's your preparation, that's your personality and how you go about yourself. And that's what I try to do. And, you know, hopefully that rubs off on some guys. And I think, you know, I'd love to help these guys however I can, if I can. And, you know, they've been awesome about, you know, not being afraid to ask questions. And it's been a good group.
Did it take a while to get used to being that guy, that veteran type guy? I mean, you went from, you know, not pitching in the major leagues to boom, you're in a Colorado Rockies bullpen that does have some younger fellows.
Yeah, well, you know, the job I was doing before with the mentoring stuff was, you know, I was kind of doing answering a lot of the same questions, but I didn't have the immediate, you know, hey, I'm out there living the same thing you are. I'm out there going through the same battles every day that you are. So if anything, you know, me going out there and having struggles currently and having to overcome them myself is like, I guess that may be more credibility. I don't know. But I mean, that's the way I kind of view it, is we're all in the trenches together and, you know, help each other out where we can.
And last one for me, is that something, whether you're a veteran or you're doing other things, is that something that maybe coaches or people like that need to understand that, hey, this game is hard to play. It seems like sometimes when you get out of it, whether you're coaching or covering as a broadcaster or whatever, it seems like people forget how hard this game is. You by doing the mentoring and going through it, does it always remind you, hey, this is not the easiest game in the world to play?
Yeah, that's one thing I hope I never forget. You know, whether I'm retired or having success, it's a hard game. And there's times when you're watching somebody and it seems easy, or you might be going through a stretch where the game is going really well and the results are there and it seems easy. But it'll humble you quick, you know, if you let it get to you. So that's just something I like to remind myself. And, you know, it's a good way to relate to anybody who's struggling or having success at the time.
All right. Hey, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Nick Groke, really quick hop in for the last one.
Yeah, Daniel, I think Scott's been around the team a little bit lately. Is he with you guys? Has he been with you guys?
Who's that?
Scott Oberg, excuse me.
Yeah, he's been there for all the home series. I think he's living in Denver and he's been in the clubhouse. Yeah, every homestand. So
if you don't mind me asking, like, does he go to like bullpen meetings and stuff? Is he right there with you guys the whole time? Is he sort of chipping in on stuff?
Yeah, he has been. He's been, you know, I think as involved as he's comfortable with. They just said, hey, be around and be a voice, be someone that, you know, in addition to, like you said, me and Givens, that can kind of help mentor some of these younger guys that are getting their feet wet. And he's been awesome. I think it's hard for him transitioning and not doing it from a player, you know, current, like where he's out there pitching and then also kind of mentoring, giving advice. So I think, you know, he wants to be out there and we want him out there, but he's done an awesome job. I've had some great conversations. I've talked to him after a couple of the outings where my results weren't great and had him look at some video. And so he's been a great resource so far.
Awesome. Yeah, cool. Thank you, man.